I just think that his birthday is actually the best day to destroy him, personally, especially if he's gonna. Since us being late is all his fault. I mean,
Yeah, no, I agree. Honestly,
he doesn't do anything for us. I mean, think about it, guys.
Honestly, freaking Josh.
Yeah, Josh is a jerk. We should call him Josh Jerk. No, don't call him Jerk Josh. We'll stick with Josh Jerk. All right. Anyway,
I mean, that'd be a pretty great birthday for like for.
Wait. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. I'm done already.
So yes, we'll be
Happy Monday.
Hi everybody. Sorry we're a little punchy tonight because we've been on the edge of like ready to go and play some Star Trek, but unfortunately we had some technical difficulties. So thank you so much, Aux Crew, for being patient with us as we spin up tonight's game. Hello, hailing frequencies are obviously open. God help you all. We're gonna go ahead and start kicking things off. I'm gonna launch right into the announcements so we can get to the game pretty quickly. Does anybody have anything they want to quickly announce that we're up to? Yes, go ahead.
I'll go so fast. I played Juga, so you all know that. Check it out on YouTube. I'm also working on a show called The Tonight is a Night Show. I announced it last month. We are monthly. So at the end of the month on the 30th, we will have another episode. Last month, we had the wonderful Rebecca Sugar as our guest. That interview is up on the YouTube, the Deluxe Video Drift YouTube. This month, our guest is Louis Zong, incredible musician and internet person that folks know. That interview is going to be the second half of the episode, but it'll be on the 30th on Tuesday. You should be there. It'll be really fun. That's all my announcement.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. Anybody else? Go ahead. Jump in.
Yeah, I guess a sort of an announcement, more like an announcement of something that's passed already. We had the finale of Deathless, which was the Vampire the Masquerade / Otherworld actor play that I was guessing on Sundays, and that was great. It was very emotional. Ended up running very long with how much stuff we had to get done and how many loose threads we needed to tie up. But ended up being a lot of fun. So if you want to check that out, go check it out on the Table Stories YouTube. That's TABLESTORY on YouTube. You can check it out. They're VOD on Twitch as well. But I think viewing on YouTube is a more enjoy experience when it comes to VODs. And we also did the finale of Draconim on last Wednesday over on Table Stories. So if you want to check that out, check out their YouTube. It was a ton of fun. You might recognize some faces like Nega Oryx, who I got to play with again, which is always a lot of fun. Nega's incredible. It's so much fun playing with her. Yeah, you can check that out on Table Story as well.
Awesome. All right, thanks, Drac. Anybody else?
Yes.
Fire away.
Tomorrow, Norval, right here. Check it out. Or no, I'm not your dad. Also, I
am. Check it out.
I posted my first unboxing video from Directed Press on TikTok. Be sure to check it out. If you like it, I've got another one coming from the Broken Door team with their game Paragon. And lastly, October 2nd through the 5th, I will be at Wisconsin Dells for the Hawkins LARP. So if you're a fan of 80s movies, Stranger Things, and stuff of that nature, come check out the LARP. I'm playing a hunter. That'll be fun.
Sweet.
A K-pop team.
Okay. Anybody? Dream big, damn it. That's what I always say. Anybody else? Really? Nothing at all? Wasn't somebody born on this day some time ago? Yeah, probably not. All right, let's go ahead and jump into tonight's episode of The Last Excelsior.
Happy birthday, Jake.
Josh.
Happy birthday, Jake.
Happy birthday, Josh. Jake's birthday brings out the weird in people, I've discovered.
It does.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump into tonight's game. Thank you again for being patient as we worked out the technical difficulties. We're going to pick up where we left off, where our crew is split into 2 teams right now. And not just 2 teams, but they're also, you are all Borg in this alternate reality version of yourselves, jumping through realities and through time as y'all are doing a quick favor to the Guardian of Forever to save basically your timeline. So y'all are trying to seal up a shatter point that was started by this Romulan who is trying to unravel everything. Where we last left off, you are all currently at the bottom. Well, I shouldn't say the bottom because you've all discovered in recent study that this is in fact not the bottom of this particular ocean, that you are in fact just this colony that's 16 miles beneath the surface of the water. Is actually on a precipice that goes into an even deeper abyss. The clock is ticking. You were all trying to buy this colony some time so that you can beam the survivors that have fled here to escape the Borg onto the sphere and get them out of here. However, in order to accomplish this, you're going to need to stabilize the entire facility as its power systems are currently failing, and that means having to go outside and repair the power systems as they are. You guys have been modifying all of these EV suits in order to traverse the bottom of this ocean using force field technology of the Borg. Now, we haven't gotten into exactly what you're up against, but it's significant. You're currently split from the hydrothermal power plant that is generating the energy that this place needs. And you're trying to essentially power up that plant again and reconnect those energy conduits so that the force field could be reinstated. Once that's done, you'll have a much easier time not only beaming everyone off, but actually doing any kind of like significant repairs to buy you even further time. But what you need to do as an emergency action first is get the power back up online. Doing this is not going to be easy. You could walk along the bottom of the ocean to see the external damage that has been done to this place, which is now suffering from tectonic shocks, which are extremely rare apparently. But there's also the issue of getting inside the hydrothermal plant itself, and it's not clear how much damage has been done on the inside of that plant just yet. So 2 of you are working on that. The other 2 of you are still on the sphere and are monitoring a Borg scout ship that is searching for all of you. And to make matters even more complicated, the Borg Queen of this universe has become aware of all of you and has even established a connection, albeit temporarily, to play her hand and offer the group a chance to rejoin the collective. In return, she would aid all of you. Of course, none of you are fools and saw through this and basically said in a very polite way for someone who is a catastrophically powerful and terrifying creature, come get some. And as a result of that, this Borg scout craft has been searching for all of you. It is a bit disconcerting that the Queen not only knows that you were not from this reality or this timeline, but she's even aware of the Bajoran orb that Captain Jaren Idril carries. So this has all been very disconcerting, but none of that changes the clock that's ticking. None of that has changed any of the pressure that's on each of you. The equation hasn't changed. Her attempts to levy more pressure on the crew, really all it has done so far is kind of just fallen against people who are focused on getting the job done. And none of you have succumbed to the pressures of the idea that you've attracted the eye of the Borg Queen. But where we are right now is you have all successfully purchased time by distracting the Borg scout ship by sending a mirage, as it were, a drone signaling in one of the planets that is scanned in the system. It is currently en route to that portion of the system and is conducting scans to find out if that's where you will all be located. You've got a little bit of time. But it does seem to be pretty clear that this is going to be a pretty tight one. If you guys don't manage to accomplish getting all of these colonists beamed up, there are over 700. An exact counting has not been made. It's varied from mention to mention. But from what you have all seen, about 700 sounds about accurate. So a little bit of time y'all need. We're going to go ahead and kick things off. We're going to start with what's going on right now in the corridor that leads out into the open sea, which is roughly 200 yards from the hydrothermal plant. This corridor that connected the two has all but collapsed. Couple of things to be aware of. Outside that door, it is pitch black. There is no light except for any of the emergency lights that might be shining still outside. It's unclear if there are any. But also the pressure. As a quick reminder, there's two things to make anybody going out there to be aware of. Is the pressure is roughly 18 tons per square inch outside. Or no, I'm sorry. I actually have the measurements right here.
18.791 tons per square inch.
That one. Or 2,552 atmospheres. Yeah. Also, the water temperature is roughly 530 degrees Celsius because you're near a hydrothermal vent. So death, darkness, and boiling, along with crushing weight of the ocean sitting on top of you. It is a lethal atmosphere the moment you leave this place. So lots at risk. You're all aware that the time is ticking, but you've bought yourself some more. We're going to open up the scene with each of you just completing last bits of repairs that you need on these EV suits. You've gotten them spun up. There's energy coming into this area. And right now, the scientist, Azui, has been helping each of you and answering as many questions as they can. Right now, they are just watching each of you eagerly as they've returned from getting everyone settled after the tectonic shock that the colony has experienced, which was not fun. We're all back now, though. So as you've all finished the modifications, Lazui approaches and starts going over the readouts of the functioning sensors outside. And you detect a hint of relief in their voice as they say, "That strange energy field from your ship is helping us stabilize. It looks like the foundations of the station have been damaged, but the green energy field that is now surrounding us being emitted from your vessel, it's keeping us stable. That's extraordinary."
Hopefully it will buy us enough time.
What do you plan to do? Certainly you can't simply just walk out the door, can you?
Ideally, that would be the simplest solution, but we may need to get creative with it.
What can I do? Is there any way I can help you?
You know this area better than us. Any insights you have? What needs to be fixed in particular? The
Fortunately,
easiest course of action here?
there is the possibility that we have people trapped in the plant. If there are more of us trapped inside the plant, they would be able to help you.
So we get there. Captain?
Is there any sort of surveillance technology like care? I've been playing too much Cyberpunk. Like, is with being able to remotely deal with technology, is there anything that I'd be able to connect to essentially take account of them and see how many are missing and where they would be?
Your first course of action would probably try to determine if there's any power inside the plant. If there's power inside the plant, it's possible that there might be observation cameras of some kind or sensors of some kind. But leading into the plant, that's hard to say. As a Borg, though, it's entirely possible. If there is power over there, you could probably remote connect and look inside.
All right, I think that's the first thing that he's going to attempt. Figure out if there's power. If there's power, then connect and get just essentially intel to make a plan.
Okay. Go ahead and do me a favor then. I'm going to have you make a roll for this.
Cool.
But because you are Borg, which is a trait that is just ever present in what you do, this is going to be a control engineering check, but it's going to be at a reduced difficulty. So I'm going to set the difficulty of this at 2.
Okie dokie. That was control engineering.
Hmm?
That's not bad. I have to roll under. Ooh, 10. That is bad. All right, here we go. Do we have any momentum?
We always do.
If I recall, I awarded you guys something at the end of the game session.
I
Y'all
had
have-
us at 4 from the end of the last session.
I think I was going to let you all says you scored from the drone distracting the Borg, and because y'all came up with some really clever solutions last game.
Right.
Does that sound about right?
That does sound right.
Okay, cool.
Something to that effect, at least.
Yeah.
Whatever you say now is true. So if we keep
Yeah, that's very true. See,
All
they all acknowledge my authority when it works for them. Did y'all notice that?
Oh, exactly. Of course.
Oh, yes.
I'll
whatever
argue
you
with you
suppose,
at any
right?
convenience.
All right. In that case, y'all mind if I buy an extra die?
Please do.
Ugh. Okay, that is. I'm very glad we bought that extra die. That is a 10, a 5, and a 15. So that's 2 successes.
2 successes, what you needed. All right. Initiating.
Science, you betrayed me. Sorry.
Darren, Darren, you are able to tap into an internal computer that you have that links you directly to what would appear to be a faint power source on the other side of this 200-yard gap between this crumbling colony station and the hydrothermal plant. It is an extraordinarily powerful sensation to suddenly connect with a computer, to be able to speak its language, and to be able to gain access to what little systems are actually still working over there. You don't see any visuals. However, there are internal sensors that are working, and you become aware that there are 3 life signs inside the facility that are still strong life signs. There is minimal power. It looks like they have life support, and that's roughly it. Everything else is on emergency power, and the plant itself, however, the emergency power is keeping its shielding online, which is one of the reasons why the plant hasn't collapsed. So useful information that you just gained. You're also in the system. You're in the computer system right now.
Okay. Gang, do we have any ideas while I'm in this system?
Could you give them a text him? Find if are there any screens powered up? Could you give them a hello?
Notification. Hey, how's it going? It's the Borg. How you doing? I would like to see if they have any kind of PA system or notification system to let them know that help is on the way. And if there are any blueprints, most likely to give them a evac point so we know where we'll be catching up with them.
Ooh, how do I want to play this? That might be. No, I think I'll give this to you. There's not a PA. There's not a PA system. However, because you have, if you remember from the last session, because you have the entire rudimentary database of their language, you could essentially, as Devine was suggesting, text them, find a screen to give them a verbal, which actually might even be beneficial, Captain, considering that if they hear somebody who's not from their colony and possibly a Borg talking to them, they might have a panic attack. But you do have access to their screen, whatever screen is working over there.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going to flash as many screens with the message. Rescue is on the way. Rescue is on the way. Meet us here for the evac.
Okay. I'm going to, simply by the case of the efforts you've gone through to contact, scan, and then reassure, I'm going to establish a trait. Just a beneficial trait right off the top without a momentum spend that they are assured, which is going to counteract any panic that they have when they see you or encounter you. Right now, they are feeling assurance. So, message was received.
I will then share that data with our friends that are hosting us as well as with my crew. I've confirmed 3 life. I know English. Watch me do it. I've confirmed 3 life forms. I have informed them that we will be on the way as soon as possible, and we have an evac point to avoid any stragglers.
Lazui's body shifts around, communicating excitement and relief. You see a little bit of the antennae moving at the top of just behind their crab shrimp-like eyes, kind of branching out, and you hear them in that unusual vocal vibratory tone that they have to their speech, just saying, "This is wonderful, wonderful news. Grateful. We are short on engineers, and it's been a huge hit to our souls to have lost so many. So this is gratifying and exciting to hear that we haven't lost as many as we thought."
We will be able to fully celebrate once we have them with us.
Lazui,
Yes.
is there any kind of message or code or statement we could bring to these crew members, these stragglers, to let them know that we are here with you? As you know, it took your people a bit of time to get used to us, so we may not have that time.
Unfortunately, my people are very aware of the Borg's capability of absorbing cultural data and information. Any code I would give you would be seen as an offer of deception. That's my suspicion.
Have I seen anything here that resembles pen and paper?
No.
Okay. I
Nothing
thought I'd
nothing that
ask.
looks like yeah, unfortunately.
Well,
Only thing I could offer is taking me with you.
Are you certain that you are willing to face the risk?
Body language, you get the impression that Lazui is, as they might say at human tables, gaming tables, has a terrible poker face as a member of this species. The Rusian are very difficult to read to anybody else, but Lazui shifts nervously, and you detect a warble in their vocal vibrations as you hear, "No, certain that I would rather not do this, but as I said, short on engineers, and shorter still on Rusian. If this would make things better, if you're going to be taking the risk, it's only fair that their elected leader do the same."
as the leader, you do have many people who are relying on you here as well. If you choose not to come with us, that is acceptable.
That is a wise thing to say, but not the Rusian way.
I
We'd
have
love
a
to have you with us.
bonkers question.
What's your bonkers question?
Can with Borg, do they have the ability to essentially can they project what they're seeing on a screen?
Yes. Not only that, you can share everything you are seeing with other Borg. In fact, you can all, if you had wanted to, Noir, once Jaren had connected to that computer, everyone that you wanted in your network could have spoken to them. We are the Borg. Like, you literally have access. If what you see, you can let everybody else see.
I think I think for a second he's gonna forget he's Borg, and this might come off like a little spooky. He's just gonna try and put a reassuring hand on this guy's shoulder, like, if anything happens to you, they would be woefully short on leaders. Please make it to our sphere, and you can guide me remotely. What I see, you will see. What I know, you will know. I will be the body, you will be the mind.
Make a presence command check. Set the difficulty at standard.
Okay.
Set this difficulty at a standard 2.
Okay, physical die don't love me. This is, I mean, look, we still succeeded. That's a, well, we succeeded if it's a crit. It's, I wrote a 4 and a 17.
Okay, yeah.
So I have to, my focuses
yeah.
include inspiration.
I wouldn't say what you said was inspiring. What else you got?
Ouch.
Team dynamics,
That's a little closer to the mark. What else you got?
composure.
It's one of those things where where a character doesn't necessarily have a single focus that really lands on the mark, but you have enough focuses that orbit the mark where you start seeing how the character is utilizing all of those skills to sort of fill in the gray area. Do you have any others out of curiosity?
Yes, do. I've got multitasking, boxing, team dynamics, Starfleet protocol, inspiration, composure, and intimidation.
Tell you what, I tell you what, this is an excellent opportunity for you to succeed at cost.
Ooh.
So, I think how we'll play this then is you can succeed, but I'm going to gain threat. I'm going to gain a point of threat.
Okay. Sorry,
Right.
everybody else.
We love threats.
Blame science.
Absolutely not.
Sam
What
is
was
like,
the
It's the
target number?
science die every time.
It's getting you.
"Bill
was the
Nye
target number on that
Science
one?
Guy."
President's command. My President's command was 16.
Oh, sorry,
I rolled a
difficulty. I
17.
said the wrong.
The
wrong.
difficulty
That's
was
my bad.
2, and because I'm
Okay, it
giving
was- okay.
because I'm giving success at
Right.
cost, I'm letting him do it, and I'll gain the threat, and you guys will succeed at this. So
I was just
um,
trying to.
yeah. You were just trying to game the system so you could beat
Yes,
me. I get
of
it. No, I
course.
understand.
Of course, I am.
Lazui seems to consider this and finally says, "It is not the Rougean way, but the Rougean have never been close to extinction, and perhaps it is time to adapt. Perhaps you are right, though it discomforts me to say so. If you think this is the best way, I will trust you, Jaren."
I think it is the way that keeps your people safe. And that is the priority.
Yes, you're right. We are going to have to learn new ways, I think. That's for another time. I will begin to organize everyone. And once we are aboard your ship, I will do what I can.
We could have the
Okay.
captain connect what you see to a screen down here, so you could keep tabs.
I would be willing to do that.
You can be more connected to the excursion.
Yes.
I'm just gonna turn this on. I think he does.
Fly web.
I was at a restaurant recently,
Go,
and
Web, go.
the server had an iPad like on like a 2-strap, like it was over the shoulder and like around the middle of the body. It had the iPad on it that they were like using to order, and they would just like drop it and keep working. And that's what I imagine Lazui is going to be doing. He's going to have the iPad that's like strapped
Similar to-
to
yeah.
the
Similar.
side, check it, and I'm like, okay, back to organizing. An iPad is always right there. You can always check
Yeah.
in.
Even though their technology is significantly different and significantly older, the Borg's extensive adaptation technology and to be blunt, the horrifying, sheer incomprehensible number of species the Borg have conquered and assimilated gives them the ability to essentially be a universal plug-in for just about anything you are encountering technologically. In this case, it is no effort at all to do exactly as you will, Jaren. When it comes to the tech, just thinking of it immediately starts to project the imagery up on the nearest screen that you wish. And because you've already been given access to their computer screens, you see Lazui turn and look a little surprised and gazes down at this and says, "Such technology."
Yeah, I can imagine it must be weird to see yourself from this perspective.
It is frightening. But as a scientist, there will be ethical debates internally later. But for now, I must admit, this is extraordinary to interact with.
For the moment, let's just use it to do some good.
Yes. Let us take weapons of destruction and use them to save.
Well, in that case, then, Tavine, you ready?
Aye, sir.
Meanwhile, up on the sphere. Up on the sphere, we have reached that stage in the waiting game, in the pacing game, where Zarya is starting to clearly exhibit frustrations and anxieties, knowing that Borg are lingering out there. Though you were all not connected directly into the network, there's no complete severance of your interactivity with one another through the familiarity of having served one another. In other words, even though she's loaded up with assimilated tech, both of you are quite aware of what an agitated Andorian who's spoiling for a fight looks like. She's pacing back and forth, and she's doing that thing, particularly you, to Aeon, you've seen her do, where she converts anxiety into a need to punch something in the face. She's just kind of walking back and forth and saying, "You should, we don't have that system. I don't want to access this system. I need to access the tactical systems on the ship. I don't want to do that. I should do that, though. If we get into a fight with the Borg, I need to know everything about everything. And something tells me I already do. I'm thinking out loud. Am I causing a disruption for both of you? I'm just a little on edge.
Really?
Stop
Couldn't
it.
tell.
But also, don't, because I could really use a little.
You want to look at a tactical system manually?
What I want is for these Borg to get here so I can break them in half.
I don't think it is Starfleet protocol to actively seek or initiate aggressive conflict, so perhaps we might put our hopes toward that time never coming.
You're right,
We-
Commander. I know you're right.
We all emborganated, but we are still Starfleet.
Can I ask you a question, Commander?
You've been successful thus far.
When you were on combat missions during the Dominion War, what was it like before a fight for you?
It was what it had to be to get things done. Why do you ask?
I'm just trying to figure out how much I should empower my self-judgment that I'm ready, spoiling for a fight right now. I'm asking you if you ever had a twitchy trigger finger when you were getting ready to engage. Did you ever feel the need to get back at the Jem'Hadar when you were in a fight?
I flew tin cans. Still do when I'm doing my actual job and flying my actual ships. And a consequence of that is that engaging at the wrong time gets that tin can cracked right open. What keeps me from a twitchy trigger finger is the knowledge of how my squad would be impacted by that choice, how I would be impacted by that choice. And that pertains no less in a little rubber ducky ball than it does in a tin can.
I feel like a cadet all over again right now. I know everything you're saying. I just need to hear it from my XO, I think.
Sounds like maybe you need to take a lap around the bouncy ball and burn off some steam.
I don't want to alarm either one of you, but I have discovered that Borg are not very good at running.
Then it will use even more energy. Go.
All right. Copy that. And you watch as the Andorian Borg attempts to jog. You see her immediately start jogging down one of the corridors, past the numerous empty regeneration alcoves, before she begins to disappear from the horizon of the curvature of the sphere, all the way down this corridor and disappearing around. It'll take her a good few minutes to run all the way around that sphere and come back. You'll probably see her in a little bit. But you do get the sense that she wasn't exaggerating as you see her jog. Her implants, the bulkiness of her body. You're getting an idea now while the quickest you've ever seen Borg move, or it's a fast-paced walk.
How about you, Tam? Pre-combat?
I don't think I've ever got into a fight knowingly without some level of intense fear, I think. It's one of the few times I somewhat consider the idea of purging or stilling emotions, but my mother told me that fear is, I should consider fear more of a superpower than an inhibitor.
Like pain, I suppose it teaches us some important things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the fork. But never battle meditation for you?
Just I focus on my breathing. I take note of every part of my body. Usually, might sound strange, but if I can, I try to flex each muscle individually as a way to focus on that muscle and then move on to the next and the next. So I suppose as a sort of meditation,
So a
center myself.
deliberately non-Vulcan practice. Rather than, I think Cadence will name Vulcan battle meditation discipline.
Okay.
Like that's got to be a thing that exists, right? Like,
Well-
not like, and then they have some Vulcan work. Like,
So-
whether or not it's in lore, it would be in society.
So what I would say is it's probably quite ancient because at the core of modern Vulcan belief is pacifism. So so you're talking about like the era before the Romulan Vulcan split. Yeah.
Prehistoric.
But not in any way invalid. It probably, I would guess that if there was a Vulcan battle meditation, of which I think is very likely considering there is a Vulcan martial art, I think it's very likely that it probably started as a battle meditation that's evolved over the years. Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, so Cadence drops that with the implication that that's kind of there. So a non-Vulcan practice for you, not
No, in all honesty, initially, actually, how much has Tavine told you about how much do you know about me, I suppose? I should probably ask.
You think Tavine's gossiping about senior staff? That would be untoward as a Starfleet officer.
Yes, no, very. I had one Vulcan mother and recently passed by a human mother as well. In my later years, she taught me how to more easily focus my energy in ways that didn't lead to the copious amount of trouble I got myself into.
Oh, I can't relate.
I think both of them wanted me to steer as clear from violence as possible. But they both quickly figured out that at least some kind of energy expansion was needed. So I did go into martial arts, the human martial art. So not as useful, or really widely useful as Vulcan, but it was enough to get my energy out. And my human mother, she taught me the isolation of each muscle as a meditation, as a centering or grounding action, I think.
Did you ever want to learn Vulcan practices, or did you want to not learn?
I I don't think I had any real feeling towards it. I learned what I found interesting at the time. Some of it was Vulcan, some of it wasn't.
And now?
Now that hasn't really changed. If anything, I think being part of Starfleet has expanded what I want to learn about beyond Vulcan and human than I did when I was younger.
Well, if you pick up any particularly interesting, I don't know, trill practices or something, pass them along.
I'll be sure to. I've been very interested in Trill very recently, actually. Yeah, if I find anything interesting that I think particularly your fancy, I'll let you know.
All right. Okay, well, we should familiarize ourselves and start to develop some quick tactical doctrine while we've got a few minutes. I don't
Yes.
want to not think about how to engage bouncy ball as another bouncy ball.
Yeah, I'm worried, actually. If we're going to be beaming anyone onto this ship, I think running will be the best option and trying to avoid combat entirely.
Try to, yes. If we don't succeed, well, that's what the
Yes.
contingency plan is for, isn't it? Double tap.
Yeah. Do you think we can scan for anything cosmological that can interfere with scanning? Something we can hide in for a while?
Well, for now, you know, blub blub.
Yeah.
And they look over to the depth meter on the monitor.
The depth meter on the monitor, you are seeing, because you are not interfacing, you weren't alerted. As you're looking at it, Cadence, you notice that these external sensors are actually detecting something on the surface where the colony is located.
Wait, colony on the surface?
On the surface of the cliff face, in the surface, as it were, below you.
Okay.
The land
The one
itself.
we're stabilizing with the tractor beam. At the
Correct,
moment.
yeah.
Copy that. Can I make heads or tails of it?
Go ahead and make
Can you
me-
make heads or tails of it?
Reason science
try.
check. Yeah. Make me a reason science check. And then, I meant to get you guys stats for the Borg sphere. I apologize. I meant to do that. I should have printed that out. Now that
You're ducking your responsibilities.
I was. Do me a favor then. Even though you don't have the stats in front of you, just go ahead and make me, if you could, to Aeon, a sensors science check for the sphere. And its difficulty is 12. Or you need 12 or lower. And
Goodness,
then
okay, I was worried.
the difficulty of this is 2, with obtain information spin as an option. What did you? Is this good, Sam? What did you get?
I rolled a 1 and a 2, so yeah.
Holy shit, I
what do
rolled
you-
an 11, so
Okay.
that's another one.
Okay, so what do you have any what are your traits real quick, Sam?
No.
You don't know what the sensors are detecting?
Yeah, but I'm using sensors to detect them, so I don't think
True.
leadership,
That's
small craft
true.
engineering, tactical control. So I am a pilot.
You're like, okay. All right. In that, so then you
So
got
that's a total of 4 on 2, so
4
we're 2
successes.
momentum
Okay.
up.
Okay. So yeah, you bank 2 momentum.
Oh, so this is our first scene, isn't it, Taeon? Which means
Yeah,
that
it
now Crochet kicks in.
Yeah.
Let the audience know what you're talking about.
Oh, close-knit crew.
Close-knit crew. Yeah.
The talent whereby in a scene, a player character with that talent is in, they they start the scene with no fewer than the number of momentum equal to the number of player characters in that scene with that talent. Because both Cadence and Taeon have it, when we are in a scene, never have fewer than 2.
Okay.
Also, sorry, housekeeping. We were at 3, new scene down to 2, now +2 for the overflow. We're at 4 momentum.
you.
That's what I have us at.
That should put us at 6, 2 for the beginning of the scene, 2 for the bonus.
I thought that only
momentum,
came
and
into
then 3 down to 2.
I thought that only came into play if there was 0 momentum. or it brings you up
It's
to the
less than.
maximum.
Oh yeah,
of 2.
okay.
So
yeah,
since we already
were
had,
already above, yeah,
we were
at
already
3.
at,
Okay,
yeah,
then
yeah.
yeah, we're at 4.
Cool. All right. The scans return some pretty unusual data. First of all, you're detecting microquakes a couple of kilometers below the station. Weak ones that aren't probably going to make their way up to the surface, but they're continual. What's interesting is the epicenters are constantly fluctuating. On the sensors, it looks like they are flashpoints, like pinging in different areas, kind of fluctuating all around. Like there's multiple weak points in a fault line, but the way they're moving seems to follow this strange synchronicity. Probably would not be visible to anybody else, but with your ocular implants and your ability to process data, you're immediately calculating all of these interesting synchronicities between these little microquakes that are happening. The other thing too is you've noticed a registered difference in the heat inside this cliffside.
What do you mean by that?
It doesn't look like it is matching the external temperatures of the water.
Okay, so it doesn't match the external temperatures of the water. Is there a variation in material density
That's
then?
obtain information spin.
Yeah, I mean, effectively, what I'm looking for is does the heat absorption signature look like a thing, or a living thing, or many living thing? Obtain information.
Okay. So your specific question is,
what is the topology of this heat signature, and does it correspond to a geographic feature or possibly an object or living thing? Right? What kind of noun am I dealing with here?
Two things. So what becomes clear to you is that there is some kind of sensor interference at work here. And it explains why it was that you weren't able to initially see this until now that you were specifically looking for it. But just from this initial topographic scan and this deeper scan into the crust to find out where these earthquakes are coming from, Cadence, you feel certain that these micro tremors that you're seeing all throughout the lower part is in tandem with, it's shocking to hear yourself think this, but you're pretty sure they're muscle movements from some kind of creature, a biological life form of some kind, like you were expecting. But the scale and size of the creature must be truly outlandish.
Not so strange. The planet is made out of stuff. Life needs things to live. There's heat, there's water, everything growing something needs.
Do you have any other questions?
Yeah.
Any other obtain info?
Based on, so if this is a very, very, very large thing and we're looking at, muscle fasciculations or something to that effect, I would expect that the objects and whatnot on the ocean floor would distribute themselves in a pattern that's consistent with being on top of something with muscle to it, right? Like, fall to either side of a muscle contraction, that kind of thing. Something that could tell us whether this is a typical occurrence or whether we are dealing with an anomalous awakening for this creature? Is this unusual behavior or unusual movement based on how we see the distribution of ocean floor objects? Information. That puts down 2.
You're basically trying to figure out if this thing has moved in a while.
Is this normal? Or is
See-
this weird such that a thing we might be involved in is provoking it?
Okay, deeper scan. Okay. It's a multi-layered answer. I'm going to go ahead and give it to you, though, since you're spending momentum to get another obtain information check. Cadence, what you divine from what the sensors are telling you. First of all, you're detecting large trace deposits on the surface of the crust that you had noticed before. It registers as some kind of variant of what's known as magnesite. That is a substance which Starfleet has known for a while. It's a form of magnesium carbonate that interferes with sensors. And it looks like there are random deposits all over the place. Not so much as that it would block sensor, but it confuse sensors if you were trying to do a deeper scan. However, now that you are focused on it, you're able to point the magnifying glass a little bit to find out what it is you're dealing with. The sensors give you essentially the shadow of this thing, the outline, to get an idea of what its size is, how long has it been since it's moved. The cliffside that the colony is built on is part of that shadow, the outline that you see built onto this thing. As the sensors run a scan, you're able to determine that whatever it is, it resembles something close to a horseshoe crab, much like you would see back on Earth. The difference being that this one is roughly 22 kilometers long, weighing up to 43 trillion tons. The sensors are essentially showing you a life form that has remained largely undisturbed. What you're getting from it, though, is portions of its ecosphere have been altered by the construction of this bubble that the Rusian have created for their colony here. And it looks like to answer your question directly, now that you've got the data points is how we got here, you get the impression that whatever time scale this creature moves on, it's starting to shift and move because perhaps somebody's made the water a little more inhospitable for it. Like somebody kind of accidentally putting a pillow on your face when you're trying to breathe at night. If they just kind of got up and dropped it on your face. It's kind of, you're getting this thing's waking up.
All right, so Rusian terraforming appears to be awakening the world crab.
Do you say this out loud? Or
Yes,
is this,
that is what Caden says
that's
to
what
make
Caden
Taeon
says?
aware of this information.
Very casually.
Okay.
To Aeon, at any moment, you can simply just see what Cadence is looking at.
Yeah.
Because Cadence
think-
is using an external.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I look at the scans and with the context of what Cadence just said, I just go, oh, we cannot catch a break.
You say that, imagine being the poor world crab.
Yeah, no, fair. I wouldn't want a sudden civilization on my back.
Well, we're hopefully going to get a little bit of evac going before the world crab indeed shakes it off. Big Borg to captain.
As the two of you are getting ready to suit up and go outside or do what you were going to do.
Jared,
Be advised, the floor is alive.
I thought it was
did you
lava.
say the floor is lava?
Alive.
I believe you owe me a rock de Gino, Captain.
Once we get back to the ship.
I send away team the info to contextualize in a data packet labeled world crab.
It takes, with your processors, it takes roughly 0.5 seconds to receive all the data and sense information that Caden's just uncovered.
Oh, may all exposition be so efficient.
Oh, we just cannot catch a break.
You say that, but imagine being the poor world crab.
All right.
We better move quickly then.
That we shall. Check our database and see if there's any non-lethal ways to pacify this thing, just in case.
Aye, sir. Turns to Taeon. Maybe if the colony is having an obstructive effect that is distressing to this world crab, we could facilitate a more permeable space within its 22-kilometer area. If we're blocking its breathing, might as well poke some air holes.
See what we can do about that. How? Okay. The only idea I have is using, because what I'm trying to imagine is the actual bubble on the crab, or just like near it's on it. Okay.
Yeah, the bubble essentially, it is after you reached about a depth of about 6 kilometers, the bubble begins, and it stretches all the way down to essentially the area where the colony is.
And it's a bubble on a world crab, on 4 elephants.
On a turtle, yeah.
Yeah, so the silt layer is creating this bubble. That's what we're.
So the piece of information, just to remind everyone, because it should be just restated, is that one of the reasons why the Borg took an interest in Evasion in the first place is apparently they had some extraordinary ability for environmental terraforming manipulation. They have apparently found a way to form a layer of clear water, seawater, in this incredibly inhospitable environment, and they're utilizing it to take advantage of this hydrothermal vent, which is now pretty clearly not actually a hydrothermal vent.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
So the world crab will get to retake this facility once we get everybody out. Got it.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's the world crab's world. The Rujin are just living in it.
Exactly.
It's not a stretch. It's not a GM giveaway to say that whatever happens, this facility is doomed.
Also, I'm so sorry for whatever episode title you planned, Eric. That wasn't Rubber Ducky and the World Crab.
Well, I would.
Now that's the band name.
I would name it World Crab, but it would be kind of a giveaway for anybody who's catching the VOD. So I'd probably. But if you're watching the VOD, it is now named World Crab. You just had to get past the fake title.
This original title going to self-destruct in 5 seconds, and it would now be called the World
Crab. Yep.
Yeah.
I follow World Crab all across America. Their North American tour. All right, sorry. Jared is putting on the EVA suit and getting ready to go.
Suit seals up. Jaren, this suit, in tandem with the remarkable technologies they have of environmental manipulation, this EV suit, Starfleet could sure take a page out of their book, because even a Starfleet EV suit, a standard one that's on a starship, no way are you going to survive a step outside the door here. 18 tons per square inch is going to kill you, no matter what you're wearing, unless you're in a shuttlecraft of some kind with shields up. This suit, however, has an internalized, essentially a manipulated internal and external environmental manipulation system that essentially seems to create a balance, a ballast, if you will, between the pressures outside and the suit itself. It literally creates a normalized, much like this bubble, it creates a sort of shell of a bubble around you, just along the layer of the suit. So as you put it on and seal it up, it activates. Anybody who's watching it activate sees suddenly this almost like a whitish pure light that kind of fluctuates around the surface and ripples like it's the surface of water being inundated with sunlight. It ripples for a few moments before it becomes something of just a translucent force field layer that just shimmies around the suit itself.
Big
Flowing in suit. Go ahead.
Big the chance we'll be able to take this with us. He says to me, "Yeah, I figured this much."
I do believe as a perhaps a palate cleanser, maybe you could send Lazui some of the information we just got about their host.
Might need to eat your mic.
They might find it scientifically fascinating.
Did you get that, Lazui? It's still, I think his audio and visual recording is still going. Did you get that?
Lazui, you're basically giving the information and data to Lazui? Okay, so Lazui's reviewing the data, and it's that finite communication of body language that anybody else would miss were it not you being Borg. It is very similar to sort of the dry humor style of just staring at something with a straight face because the disbelief is that intense. An almost dry comedy of watching somebody just go, "Oh, okay, yeah." Sam, a few moments ago, essentially, just kind of like, yes, well, okay, that sure, it's a world crap.
Might as well.
Lazui kind of is processing the same way, but you see underneath the surface from the occasional twitch of one of their pincers that they are in heaven. It's a scientist that has just discovered a moon-sized crab, and as a creature that has very much crab-like traits, you can see the imagination of light inside Lazui. And for a brief moment in this Russian scientist, the impending destruction of his entire species is kind of put on hold for a second as he stares in wonder. They just stare at this data, and after a few moments, those mantis shrimp-like eyes just dart and look over at you directly, Sheridan, and Lazui says, "Understood. This facility is likely causing this creature harm."
And it is good that we are going to find you a new place to call home. So our world crab can redecorate.
Let's help expedite the move-out process then. I'm going to start heading towards wherever it is. I assume there's some sort of like airlock style thing so we can get outside.
Yeah, the airlock style thing is directly ahead. As you move over to it, Lazui is kind of lost in the data. As you move over to the airlock, you start activating it. Lazui turns and says, "Captain, before you go,
Yes.
obviously, I want to rescue my people. If you must, if there's a way to do what you must to prioritize, my request would be to treat the creature that we have inadvertently built upon as another one of those who needs saving now."
I assure you, my job is to make sure that everyone gets home safely.
Thank you, Captain. You can hear the distress in the Zui as they turn back and stare more at the data and says, "I will continue to examine this. Hopefully I will have some more information for you when you return."
All right. He will go to the
Okay.
airlock.
You step into the airlock, the door behind both of you seals shut, and you hear this echoing as the seals activate. A light begins to blink, a warning light, as you hear, and eventually you hear this hissing sound. Water begins to stream into the interior of the airlock. You just see, as soon as it does, hot steam begins to immediately fill the space. Your Borg sensors are able to detect what is around you still, but the intense temperatures of the water that's jetting into the room right now causes water vapor to immediately interact with the atmosphere, and you just see fog begin to fill the interior. The water continues to rise quickly
As we're waiting for this process to go through and fill up, Tavian just kind of like is like looking around, has like hands clasped behind her back, and just like very casually goes, "Read any good holo novels lately, Captain?"
I have actually. This entire time I've been this entire time I've been trying not to make a joke about crabs.
I'm sure Cadence would love to hear it once we're back on in the air, dry ground.
I'll
workshop it.
I was thinking steamed crabs. I'm afraid of the jokes Cadence would tell.
It's shellfish of you.
They connect to the link for 1 second just.
The water continues to rise until finally, as it flows over the top of the visual plate that you have built into this, you can see the lights in the interiors. They suddenly very much become ghost-like as they are enveloped by the water itself. You see a green light begin to flash and blink to indicate that the pressure is starting to match the outside pressure. You can hear through your suits the groaning protest of the integrity of this room. But it holds. And then the door goes and it just starts to slowly move open. As it does, you see the only light that you can detect is the light that is shining out of this airlock. Just beyond the threshold of the door is the darkest abyssal black you've seen outside of a completely starless sky. It just immediately goes into the complete absence of light, except for one red glowing object about 200 yards from where you are currently located. You also see the interior sensors begin to skyrocket in temperature, but they don't exceed what is expected. They just kind of mark that you are now tipping into the 500 Celsius temperature range. The water in here would boil the organic material off of any life form that was not suited for this environment almost instantly. But also, no, it wouldn't, because you'd be crushed so absolute and totally there would be very little left instantly. So as you see this, you know that in front of you, stepping outside this doorway, is going to be a 12-meter drop and then an additional 20-meter drop, and then it's the walk across the way.
Are you ready for this?
No. And then he just goes.
Again, you take a few steps.
I said it better myself.
You can hear this strange ambient energy emitting from your entire suit. But I mean, hear it. It almost sounds like there is a humming as the energy field around you is working. You've noticed that moving hasn't changed. You're able to still walk as though you were in water that was no deeper than the typical deep sea diver style. Like the gravitational force, the pressure, nothing is interfered with. So, Jaren, as you step off the ledge, you see the energy level spiking a little bit on your suit as it compensates. And against the laws of physics, you drift lazily down as almost an anti-grav pulse kind of stabilizes you. Though it's not the pulse itself, it's mostly just something fighting back against the weight of the water. You touch down and you see your suit spike into the yellow as you touch down onto this metal surface, which you assume is the other part of the facility. You can see that some of this, the metal, the structure has been torn away, it looks like. And next to you, Tavine touches down. Tavine, same thing. It's almost as you touch down, it's comfortable enough, but you can tell your suit is compensating as you see it spike a little bit into the yellow, almost like an audio spike. Like you talked too loud into the mic. You see that kind of yellowish tipping into the middle and then going back down to normal as the two of you continue to march on. it is settling in on the two of you that you are walking across the structure of a torn colony at the bottom of the 16-mile ocean, 16-kilometer ocean, on the back of a giant world crab as you continue to march towards the next jump. It takes you just a few moments to get there. This one is a 20-meter drop. So this one, as you reach the lip, it's not so much of it's not a planned drop. It looks like it is metal has been sheared away and ripped. You can see underneath you, just beyond your boots, is what looks like the remains of a walkway that has been folded and sheared from the weight. And then it's just total darkness. You cannot see where you are going to land. It's just absolute darkness.
Dude, well, I know that would require there to be some sort of like, because I was about to be like, do Borg have any kind of like night vision or flashlights?
Yes, you do.
Oh,
yes, you do. As you focus and look beyond, there is literally your external sensors are what you're being able to see right now. You're aware that there is wreckage down below and that it's a 20-meter drop. And that where you are right now might be a bit of a rough landing. I should also go ahead and tell you guys, because of the environment you've entered into, threat has increased. So I've given myself an additional threat for the environment. That being said, yeah, it's going to be a fitness check if the two of you hop off of here.
Just gonna check in with David, like, how you holding up?
I'm doing all right. Not quite as fond of being outside of a ship, but intriguing nonetheless. How are you?
Well, I'm gonna lie now that you said that and say I'm fine.
Point taken.
I was just the command of an old mothball ship. Nothing exciting.
I'm sure Taeon would have the same sentiment.
All right, you ready for this next part? The job's gonna be gnarly.
I believe the answer here should be no. And I jump.
And you jump? Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna follow after.
Okay. I need both of you to make a fitness security check. The difficulty of this is 3.
Oh.
3?
3, and because of the punishment you're putting on your suit, I'm raising the complication range. You roll a 17 or higher, it's a complication.
Okay.
How much momentum we looking at here?
I have 2 in here right now. Maybe should we both take one?
I'm thinking that might be the play.
All right.
Fitness securities. So I have to roll under 11. That's fine. This is fine.
And planning.
I don't think I have anything here that is.
I'm looking at my values actually.
Well, I mean, we got mission. It's mission.
True. Yeah, I'm gonna pop a determination. Using mission directives.
Okay.
So,
Which mission directive are you activating?
what are the mission directives exactly?
I mean, we're on our
because we're
technically the mission directive that you could apply here is the one that you kind of accepted from the Guardian of Forever, which is to repair the shatter points. Yeah. You could call upon that.
We are for sure. I'm for sure calling upon that.
Gird yourself as you leap into the abyss.
I hate this. Hold on, I forgot how the Star Trek die work. I got the delta on one of these. Okay, that's a 1.
That's a crit. Yeah.
I was like, is that on the
delta's
good?
No, you want the good. The delta's good.
Okay.
No.
I haven't used physical die in a minute. So I'm turning my 14 into a 1. So that is 2 1s and a 9. So that's 5 successes.
Yeah, let's go. Okay. I do think I'm my security fitness isn't awful, but I do think this is bad. I want to burn a determination also. Same for mission parameters.
Okay. You will burn that mission parameter.
Okay.
That means one of your dice is automatically a 1. Whatever.
Yeah.
So you would only roll the remaining die. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
How'd you do? Need difficulty 3,
Okay.
But
17
you
or higher.
already spent the momentum, right? So that means you still get your 3 dice.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
choose which
And-
one is the one.
And keep in mind, 17 or higher is a complication, just in case.
Yeah, so this is kind of fucked up. I have 11, 11, and 1. I've rolled only ones. 11, 11, and 1. And 11s are
That's
successes.
5
So I
ones.
have it's 5 ones. No.
1, 1,
So
1.
a crit and then 2
Okay.
successes. So that's 4 from me.
The
Wait,
two of
wait.
you. What's up?
Did you roll a 1?
No, I
or
set the
did-
1 aside. I set the 1 aside for the
Cool.
Okay.
determination. Yeah.
So you got your 2 successes and then 3, 4. So the two of you drift down in the water column. You can see the suit is straining its power systems as you all gently drift towards the bottom, falling at a safe rate. But when you touch down, the two of you narrowly miss these deadly looking splintered shards of metal that are reaching up like broken fingers from the sand, clawing upwards. You drift right down between each of them, landing perfectly fine. Your suits spike into the red and immediately go back down into the green as soon as the two of you touch down after the 20-meter drop. You can see the power, that strange energy field that's around your suit. It becomes visible again for a second before it goes back into its invisible-like state. And you are both now on the walkway towards the station up ahead.
See, that's the kind of thing I want to brag about, but I'm not sure if it counts because it's not my body.
You are in it at the moment.
I'll take the win. Let's keep going.
Okay. I am going to spend 3 threat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the number?
You don't get it. You don't get it. You only get that once per adventure.
Oh,
You
shit,
used it
did
last game.
earlier. That's right.
You used it last session. I'm going to spend 3 threat, and that is going to activate. I'm going to activate. Well, I'll describe what I'm activating. On the sphere, you all detect the exterior of the solar system y'all are in. You detect that the Borg vessel has apparently completed its scans and is now making its way in system again. The threat that I have spent is the scale of the ship. So I'm treating it like a reinforcement. I to spend a number of threat equal to the scale of any vessel that I call into a scene. So in this case, a scale 3 vessel, dramatically smaller than the sphere. Still dangerous, but it's a scout ship. If the sphere had to fight this thing, it would not go well for the thing. But that's not the danger. The danger is the Borg beaming to wherever the hell they want to beam. That's where things get dangerous. And they are currently making their way inward. But we're going to pause right there because I stretched on our 10-minute break a little bit because we started late. Let's take our 10-minute break real quick, hydrate, stretch and stuff. And then we will come back in 10 minutes and deal with my bullshit. We'll see you all in about 10 minutes.
Oh, that's all episode.
Welcome back under the sea. We're gonna get back into the game where we last left off. Last we parted before the break, was revealed that the Borg scout ship has discovered that it's been deceived and is now making its way in system and is doing a wide search for any trace of the Borg sphere filled with the renegade Borg on board, i.e. the party. That is currently submerged 6 miles below the surface of this caustic, hostile ocean on this demon planet. You all don't have a precise triangulation of where that Borg sphere is because the probe is only... You decided to use the probe as a distraction. So the probe is able to basically send back information that the Borg sphere has scanned it and is leaving and is heading back in system. But you don't have any further information beyond you would to get that. You would all have to leave the surface, breach the surface once again, and clear the interference before you could scan again, which could conceivably give you all away. So right now, it's very much a situation where you're kind of a submarine running silent and there's a destroyer headed towards you guys with sonar
In fact,
pings.
I was just about to say,
Yeah.
there's no reason I can't take us to silent running.
That's very true.
The mechanical silent running is on page 219 if you need it, but
Thank you.
effectively it would be making the sensor
219.
harder for them to see, also harder for us because we would be relying on passive sensors. But that's kind of fine. Actually, we're not actively looking.
Right,
for
you're just
things
trying to
over water.
not be seen.
We're just taking in whatever passive, especially because we're looking
Right.
on specific frequency filters.
This demonstrates the value of not being seen. A little bit.
I understood that reference.
Did you? I'm so proud of you.
Mhm.
I don't know that I've ever thrown a Monty Python reference that you've gotten. That's fantastic.
No, I always pretend not to get them, but I usually
Oh.
do.
Cheers. You've been, cheers. Congratulations on your 8 years of lying to me.
Thank you. I work hard at these deceptions.
All right. A ship may operate on silent running. While doing so, the ship systems are reduced to minimum power. The ship cannot have shields, weapons, or armed, and may not move by any means other than maneuvering thrusters. You don't have to worry about any of this. Further, as active sensors are shut down, the ship relies on passive sensors only, adding 1 difficulty to any tasks assisted by the ship sensors. Again, not gonna have to worry about that. While silent running, the ship cannot be detected unless it's at close range, or the zone it's in is being actively scanned. So until that happens, you guys are pretty much invisible. A vessel which moves using impulse or warp, or raises shields, arms weapons, or takes the reroute power action immediately stops silent running. So
yeah, Cadence does this all the time practically
Right.
by default whenever they're in their little stealth paragriffin. And so it is in that spirit that they bring down the hum of the sphere
okay,
a little bit.
so there's a couple of things to keep so you don't get surprised as a player. Just to keep in mind, so everyone knows what the stakes are. You do know this much, Cadence. The Borg scout ship is actively scanning. However, its active scans, it has not triangulated exactly where you are yet. So it's very likely it might need to stop a few more planetoids, asteroids, whatever, before it finally locates you. You have time still, and silent running is going to definitely keep you off the map. But if it ever active scans where you all are, the game is up.
Well, so I figured they already need to actively scan for us because, how do I put that? We're underwater real hard.
Mhm.
There's a reason they couldn't pick us up immediately. And so what I'm looking to accomplish here is to make that yet more difficult by minimizing the kind of signature they would even be able to detect
Okay.
under the water.
So I tell you what,
Yeah.
if you want, you can burn some momentum to create a trait
Yes.
where you're using the planet's
trait.
interference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially to cloak you. And to which case, I would say with that trait in place, I would have them roll a check at an increased difficulty to spot you guys. But the way I'll treat it is an opposed check. So what we'll do is we'll set the difficulty standard at 1, but however many successes you roll is the difficulty of their roll to detect you. Okay, so let's just do that right now.
Yeah,
If you
spend
could,
it.
yeah. So then that trait is going to be using planetary interference. Specifically, I think, Cadence, one of the reasons why this is going to be useful to you is because of your scientific scans, that which you are not skilled at normally doing, but in which case has helped you out. Your scan of the magnesite, you're going to be able to use this to your advantage. Kind of, yeah. So you spent that. So do me a favor then, and roll me a reason science check, and you will get. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you to reflect the trait rather than give you an assist. I'm going to give you an automatic success.
May I put forth control con because they're trying to see me. I'm trying to optimize the stealth positioning of my ship. Like that's a pilot. Like I'm doing piloting, they're doing looking at things.
To direct a starship or other vessel through a difficult environment, or to operate a craft such as precision to aid activities would be control con. Covers piloting crafts of all sizes. Whereas sensor science, that would be department. Oh, I need to look at departments. Let's see. Maybe. Oh, you know what? To analyze astronomical various. Maneuvers. Unfortunately, because you're trying to fool sensors, it's not going to be a con check or a control check. However, you might be able to use. Oh, hold on. Oh, interesting. It might be more of a science engines check for the department plus system, the assist, and then for you, Cadence, trying to find a way that you could use control that would make sense here.
I mean, I can use control, I can use daring, any of those. Like, ultimately, I am doing a thing, and those are kind of the verbiest tasks, attributes for the purpose of ship operation.
Attribute department interactions. Yeah, it's tricky because
like I'm doing a ship. I'm doing a ship thing. So
yeah, you're doing a ship thing. But it's electronic warfare, so it's more of you trying to run interference on their ability to spot you. If this was
right, but I'm also positioning. I'm nestling myself in between. Like I have.
I see the point you're making, and I don't disagree with it because it very much. If we were using the submarine analogy, you're very much positioning this sub so that it is not being detectable. You're not actively jamming sensors.
Exactly.
So
I'm just nestling in somewhere with the
maybe
lowest possible signature.
Okay, maybe I can meet you halfway on this. Let's say I'm going to say con daring.
Okay. All right.
Con daring is to detect a starship or vessel to avoid sudden imminent danger or to perform an extreme unorthodox maneuvers with a craft using feel or instinct. In this case, I'm going to say you can use control or con daring.
I think parking the rubber ducky Borg sphere underwater in an unobtrusive manner might qualify as unorthodox.
So the way I'm gonna treat this, it's kind of unusual, but the way I'm gonna treat this, because you've spent momentum to put a trait on this, I'm gonna count that as an auto success. So whatever successes you roll here is going to be the successes you need to add to the difficulty. So whatever you roll, however many successes you establish here is what the Borg have to beat if they're gonna detect you. You're setting the difficulty for them. It's an opposed check.
All right.
So you don't have to worry about, even if you roll no successes, the difficulty will still be 1 for them. You'll still succeed. Just don't roll a complication. And you'll be fine.
I just to run up the score here.
God damn it, Tiffy.
I'd like to spend a point of determination.
Okay, what are you calling upon?
I can call upon my mission directive. I can call upon being the best goddamn pilot in Starfleet.
Pick one.
Well, so either of those are eligible. So if we can consider me as having at least one thing that counts, because it's thematically relevant to a scene I had with Taeon earlier.
Okay.
I think Taeon can see Cadence maneuvering these controls and sees a little bit of body language that indicates they're doing that battle meditation, as my value is when things get bad, get calm, get Vulcan.
Ooh, can I do something to throw some character juice your way? It's literally, it's me spending threat, but it's to give you something to be dramatic with. Because what I would say is, in doing this, let me pitch this to you to insert some good narrative fun for you, Sam. In doing this, Cadence is operating a Borg sphere and learning how incredibly efficient and liberating it is to maneuver a craft with A, your brain, and B, a craft that literally has the full directional origin. You have a full dimensional movement in any direction. You don't have to bank left or right. You point and go. As a sphere, you have propulsion direction. Everything is the stern. So, in other words, I'll let you decide what that might do for someone who has been actively resisting tapping into the efficiency and power of the Borg. But how about I spend a point of threat to give you that, and you can decide what it means for Cadence.
I am the ship.
Okay. I'm going to spend a point of threat, and Cadence, you can decide at any dramatic moment how that comes into play.
All right.
But you open yourself up to the Borg technology. It might be, we'll say that with the point of threat spend, it was inadvertent. You were just getting a feel for the ship, and it was that eerie moment where you're not sure for a split second where the ship ends and you begin. But you managed to maneuver the vessel so that it's just above the bubble sphere that you are currently orbiting in the water. I shouldn't say orbiting, but you were leveled off. But yeah, go ahead and make your roll.
All right. As a human, when I use a value to spend or gain determination, I add a momentum to the group pool. I'm going to take that for my cool con talent, which gets me a total of 3 dice, 1 having been turned to a 1.
Okay.
And that's cocked.
I'm rolling for the Borg ship, right? The Borg ship is assisting here or no?
I mean,
Yeah,
I
the
am
Borg ship
going, right?
assists. Yeah.
Perfect, because I rolled a 1. That's a crit.
You guys are going to try to rob me of sending you in combat against the Borg, and I've been literally studying.
Rob you're robbing me. I want to fight the Borg.
I know you're doing. All right, so
I
so
have
you rolled
5
a 1.
successes total.
So 6, 7 successes.
Yes.
Okay, so the difficulty that they have to beat is 7. I'm going to go on record here and say that's not out of the realm of possibility for the Borg. However, that ain't an easy roll for me to make as a GM. Okay, so you shut everything down, Cadence. Using maneuvering thrusters, your instinct and your connection with the ship, you bring the Borg sphere into alignment with the scan. Essentially, you bring your Borg sphere in alignment with the magnesite deposits you found on the surface, and run parallel to them, so that if any scan passes over here, it might be mistaken as a shadow, not an actual vessel that's underneath the surface. Even if they actively scan you, there is a good chance they won't know it's you. The bad news for this, though, is I'm going to say, while I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to spend 2 threat to create a trait for the scene. And I'm going to say active hunters. The trait is you've powered down and you are cloaked from the Borg. However, they're Borg, meaning in order to stay powered, in order to not attract attention or possibly lower their difficulty by 1, you will have to be very careful how often you communicate with the away team. Because Borg, who are also neural linked in and can hear and feel the presence of other Borg, even if they're separated from the collective, you run the risk of revealing yourself. But it'd still be a roll. It would just be at reduced difficulty. Because it's not going to nullify the stunning successes you just scored. That is the current situation. The odds are still very much against me. I'm gonna have to burn fuck tons of threat to catch up to you guys here. Hunter trait.
Trying.
So they're at increased difficulty to detect you on top of everything else.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. About that moment, Cadence, as you're coming out of the reverie of being connected with the ship, you are startled somewhat at the heavy thudding, clunking sound of an Andorian Borg finally having circled the sphere, arriving back at the location where you two are currently navigating this ship. She's not even out of breath. She comes to a stop at the jog and she goes, "Did we move? I thought I saw power systems dropping offline, and oh God, I detected everything shutting down. They found us?"
Cadence doesn't respond and is just kind of locked in.
I think
I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there.
Yeah.
For the mouthy person that is the XO, that is a moment that stands out to both you and Zarya. Zarya, with the one organic eye that she has, looks at you, to Aeon, and then looks back at Cadence and just says, "Commander, are you good?"
think their focus right now, the Borg, they figured out they would check them with the probe. So I think they are getting closer, probing each planet and planetoid until undoubtedly they get to this one. So we're on silent running right now.
Right, that
We can
just
hardly
figures.
detect
The
them.
moment they're practically on our doorstep is when I've kind of worked the fight out of me.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you were updated, but there is a crab underneath the makeshift city down there that we're dealing with as well.
Okay. There's something special about this crab?
I
Is it
didn't
made of
make that clear. The X has dubbed it the world crab. It's about 22 kilometers large, and the makeshift city is on its back. And it's
the
waiting.
one antenna that she still has stiffens a little bit, and she says, "I'm sorry?"
Yes, like I said, we can't catch a break. It seems this silt layer, the habitable water they created with it, is not great for this crab, and it started to wake up from what I can only imagine was a deep sleep.
Oh. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Sure. Why not? I mean, we woke up and we were Borg, and we met shrimp people, and they are really nice. And you know what? Bring it on at this point. Everything is just weird. Bring it on. Let's help the world crab. We'll save these people. We'll repair the shattered point, and we'll go slap around a Romulan ship, and then everything will be fine.
Boring, hopefully, after this.
Boring. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of boring, the two of you are trekking along the bottom of the ocean right now. And it's certainly not worthy of an Angela Lansbury song as the two of you are moving forward. The suit is, again, compensating for the extreme environment, but you are still pushing through. It is extraordinary seeing the sand that is gathered around, that is compounded down here underneath the weight of the ocean. You are seeing what clearly looks like microbial life that has bloomed down here in the sand. Probably because it's on a giant life form. But anybody in Starfleet likely has this coming across life on top of unexplored life. That there is life down here in such extreme environment is pretty fascinating. There is a dark colossus looming in front of you, and you can see just beyond the lights of your EV suits, you can just start to make out the superstructure of the hydrothermal plant. It is ominous looking, and unless they have different architecture for how they build the hydrothermal plants compared to the rest of this colony, it's either crooked or it is folding in on itself. But it doesn't look right, as your Borg implants are giving you a basic outline, a geometric scan just from seeing it in the dark, something organic eyes would never be able to see.
When the captain sent over the help is coming, did we receive any sort of did they make any attempt to reply or anything?
You didn't get a reply. You're not sure if they attempted to do so or not.
Okay. I was trying to think if we could preempt any conversation before we get there. But
Yeah.
if there was no, before they can see us basically. But if they didn't make any response of like yay or anything, like we might just have to go in
Yeah.
cold.
I mean, it's Captain did pretty good with the first time around. There's one thing he's good at. It's you won't have a rubber ducky or a scarf to help you this time.
But what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Don't. The secret weapon is the bow tie underneath the EVA.
You are a Borg wearing a bow tie.
Borg and a bow tie. Now that's a band to follow.
There you go.
That is a band.
I thought it was my favorite Borg themed children's book.
Very good.
When
it's
you
for
reach,
like the XB kids.
oh,
Everyone assimilates.
When you reach the hydrothermal plant, you can see just from the exterior, the outline, just beyond the light that's being exuded from your suits. You can see the extent of some of the damage on the exterior walls. It looks like if they did have an airlock, it looks like it's blown inwards, which is going to be complicated now because it means you're going to have to find a clever way to get inside this place without blowing the entire place full of salt water that is bubbling at 500 degrees Celsius and essentially taking out the structural integrity. The interior of this looks like it's barely holding on. Most of the airlock looks like it's scattered and crushed on the ocean floor. It's an easy climb, though, thankfully, because it looks like the walkway that broke and peeled away has slanted down into essentially a very giant accessible ramp that leads right up to the interior. So it's a bit of a march as y'all kind of push back against the pressure, but once you get topside, there's a single door in front of you. Opening it will probably expose the entire facility. You're gonna have to figure something out here.
Can I? Oh no! Please go ahead.
I was just say, do we knock? Like, we're here. Like, hello.
Even if we knock, if they open the door, they'll compromise themselves. I would assume.
Well, they wouldn't open the door, I should hope, if it would compromise the facility, but at least they would know we were here. Perhaps they have an idea from the inside.
Well, I'm always one for collaborative working, so knock, knock, knock. I think it's gonna be
okay. Remember Star Trek 5 when they were in the prison cell and they start hearing the knocking and they're like, Morse code. Stand back. Okay. You begin to knocking on the door. Takes a few moments, but you hear this deep thumping on the other side.
We've absorbed their language now. Do they have any sort of...
They do. The culture of this
style
advancement,
code,
they do have, they do have a non-verbal communication. I'll go ahead and tell you in advance right now that having absorbed a lot of their languages, they have a shrimpy version of ASL that they use with their multiple appendages, which comes in real handy when you're an aquatic species and you don't have the ability to immediately communicate. They have a pretty extensive vocabulary. You can tap into that and knock out basically of their version of a Morse code and communicate with them directly if you choose.
Yeah, I think I'm
What'd you like to say?
hanging out safe entry point.
Okay. They explain, you hear a quick reply on the other side. You get the impression that they're a little panicked because it's sloppy as they reply. It's a little too quick, but you think they say something along the lines of the second entry point was on the other side of the facility and they don't know what the condition is, but it's near the cliff.
We had the blueprints. How far is that from here? Like,
it's a short walk around the side of this particular area. However, if the blueprints are still accurate based off of the seismic events that have been happening, then when they say it's near the cliff, what they actually mean is it's on the cliff.
mm-hmm.
If there is an entry point on the other side, it's likely where submersibles would dock. And that would mean that you're looking right now, Tavine, you're looking at a scenario where you might be edging on a ledge like you're on a skyscraper, not trying to fall off.
Well, I am Borg right now, so if I was ever going to complete that successfully, it might be now. Captain, would you like to keep conversing and I'll go take a peek from the outside?
Of course. Let me know if you need me at any point.
Hi, sir.
Okay.
I'm going to go take a walk.
All right, Tavine, you begin to move, flanking this door, moving around. There is what looks like a small maintenance walkway on the outside of the plant. Easy enough to move. But as you get closer to the corners, you start noticing that it wasn't your imagination. It's not that it's slanted. The station is compromised. It looks like the hydrothermal plant might be still operational, but you can see that the tractor beam is actually doing more than just stabilizing the foundation. Cadence stopped the hydrothermal plant from going over the side.
God.
And as you glance over to it, you spot the situation that you're in. And I'm going to increase the environmental threat of this by 1 as you start to realize that you are going to have to walk a pretty narrow walkway. And the walkway is slightly slanted into what is essentially an overlook of the deepest, darkest abyss. From what you know of the scans, this is the edge of this world crab somewhere on its body. And there's a couple more kilometers down below where the water pressure, if you were to go down, very unlikely you would be able to be recovered.
Fair enough. Okay, so this is a walkway,
I wouldn't call it a walkway.
Like it is built. It is not
where you are right now. Where you were going, though, it is for essentially a metal lip that is sticking out the side. I would say characterize it as a ledge, like a seam that is sticking out from the side of the building itself. You're going to be able to maneuver.
It is made and not organic. That's what I was trying to get at.
That is correct. Yeah, this is part of the hydrothermal plant.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to throw at you.
Okay.
As has been stated, we're Borg. What do we think about mag boots? What do we think about being partially magnetic to this metal ledge you've given me?
I would say that would be absolutely a thing because we've seen it happen in First Contact. However, not with the suit on.
Oh, that suit too.
You are in this environmental suit that has deliberately created a field to counteract the gravitational effects and the physics of being dragged down. It's literally repulsing you away from being crushed like a rock. And your ability to magnetize to the side of this metal doesn't seem to be efficient enough to keep you locked into place.
Follow-up thought. I just spent a lot of time with these suits.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any sort of way that I can manipulate how the gravitational sort of manipulation is happening to have it gravitate me towards to the building essentially instead of downward?
Yes, but it would I would say it would put strain on the suit. And I would call for a roll. A roll that would have some consequences if it doesn't go your way.
Okay.
Because you're going to make an engineering check on this, but you're basically manipulating the suit systems that are protecting you from being crushed by 18 tons per square inch. Okay.
Well, the thing is that I don't want to be lost to the void. So
there's this whole dying thing that you're not really into right now, and I completely understand. The words, I will say this much. The words of the Guardian of Forever are echoing in your mind. As a GM reminder, he did say that if you die, that you don't die, this universe's version of you does.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that to her. She seems pretty cool.
What's that?
I don't want to do that to her. She seems pretty cool. I don't want to.
Yeah, she's got some friends. She's got stuff going for her.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm borrowing this body right now. I don't want to. I'm doing my best to keep her alive.
I'm going to say that this is going to be. Oh, okay. Hold on. This actually might be no situation.
Control.
This might be. Oh, there it is. It is going to be a security fitness check. Yep.
To do engineering.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I was talking about moving across the
across the cliffside.
I'm sorry. Thank you. To manipulate the engineering of this, it is going to be an engineering check of some kind. Let me just double check.
Control engineering?
I think it's going to be a control engineering. To adjust or repair a sophisticated device or system to operate. I'm going to say control engineering makes sense. And control is kind of where you shine. So.
Yeah. Could I snag a momentum? What are we even at right now? I feel like
you should be at 6. I think y'all are maxed out.
Yeah, we maxed out for sure.
Oh, but you did switch a scene, so I think you're down to 5.
Down to 5. Okay. All right. I would actually then. What's my difficulty here?
I would say the difficulty of this is a 3, but again, I'm going to increase the complication range.
Fair. True.
So 17 or higher. It'd be a
Okay.
complication.
I don't think any of my focuses come into play here.
I mean, who has a focus for this? You're literally manipulating. I totally sympathize with Portavine right now. Who started for this at Starfleet Academy?
Yeah, God, if only she thought ahead.
Yeah. Damn it! I
Okay.
missed out on my shrimp EV bottom of the ocean giant crab walk
Borg
class.
technology
Yeah.
modifying.
Missed out on that one.
Anyways, okay. Okay, would we be amenable to me spending 3 to get 2 bonus dice? Is that can we
Yeah.
vibe with that? Okay.
Okay, 2 bonus
Yeah,
dice.
I'm gonna roll the pride one as my 4th one. Okay. 3 is the difficulty.
Mhm.
What is the complication range?
17 to 20.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Did you roll a
rolled a
16?
I rolled a 16.
You rolled a 16.
Which
I was
is
like, that is-
I rolled 2 16s and 16s are within my success range.
Wow.
I
Impressive
rolled
on every level.
I rolled 2 16s, a 5, and a 1. So 1, 2, 3,
You
4,
guys are
5.
ones tonight. My God.
I rolled
Damn.
5 successes.
Okay, let's pause for a second and just acknowledge that yes, you guys have spent for a couple of these ones, but you haven't. And ones are 20s in this game. If this was a D&D game, people would be losing their minds if you rolled this many 20s. All right, so you rolled how many successes total?
1, 2, 3, 5.
Okay, 5 successes. All right, so you can spend if you need to for whatever you wanted to do afterwards, and the bonus momentum or bank is needed. But essentially, you are going to be able to use your engineering skills to shift the power systems of this suit so that it can help compensate you going on this ledge. However, you watch as the pressure on the suit, the strain, the stress that the suit is taking, you see it spike up into the mid yellows, even though you're not jumping down from anywhere, as you maneuver that energy field so that you can use your Borg physiology to magnetize to the side of this thing. That's going to give you a reduced
This Vulcan
difficulty.
helped invent the warp slide. Like she's at this point, what
True.
she just does. She's just gonna try shit, you know.
All right. So cranks into the yellow. I will tell you this. Now that you have done this, if you do slip and fall, even if you manage to grab a hold of things, there's going to be another roll because of the stress that's put on the suit. But right now, advantage is on your side. You've got your Borg physiology working for you. If you want to try to traverse this, go ahead. Then I'm going to make a ruling here. I will offer you a free momentum if you are willing to take 2 stress from this.
Instead of a roll, is that what you're saying?
No. In addition, I will give you a free
addition.
point of momentum. In exchange, you have to take 2 stress on your character to reflect Taveen and their state as they maneuver across the abyss.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay, and gain point of momentum back. And Taveen, you were using your Vulcan training, and whatever you never underwent Kulinar.
Mm-mm.
But you still have a disciplined Vulcan mind. You didn't go so far as to Aeon, who is deliberately committed to a life as a Vulcan who lives in their passions. But your training as a Vulcan, your discipline, that emotional overwhelm that Vulcans have as being heightened emotional creatures, it's being put to the test as your survival instinct is fighting, screaming at you right now. If you can imagine somebody fear of heights, everybody knows what it's like to imagine what it would be like to be in the water column in the ocean. Why some people who scuba dive don't ever want to scuba dive again, because they look down and just see the endless dark blues and blacks. Sam is just grinning because Sam loves scuba diving, even though they get eaten up by all the little monsters inside the ocean. But as you look over the edge, you just see death. It's just darkness.
It's different than space.
Crushing.
Space has
totally
light.
different. Yeah. It's a different kind of death in space. It's something you could probably recover. You've got an ocean sitting on top of you. This is a whole new level of stress.
Yeah.
So go ahead and let's make that fitness check. You're going to be making a security fitness check. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that correct? Is it security? No, I'm sorry. It's a security daring check. Wait, hold on. I'm getting this wrong again. Is it engineering? Improvise?
What?
To perform physically taxing, repetitive, or arduous technical activities as efficiently as possible, despite physical strain. To perform any technical, no. It kind of hits it, but not enough. I'm going to say this is going to be I think it's a security daring check.
That
It's
tracks.
or
That
I'm
tracks.
sorry, not a security daring. It's a security fitness check. Sorry, that's what I was looking for.
Security.
Security fitness is to restrain an unwilling prisoner to climb or to swim in difficult circumstances. In this case,
I do like security daring though. But security fitness is fine.
security daring is to attack and defend a melee combatant to scare or intimidate someone into the threat of violence. So security fitness.
It's quite daring. Okay, fitness. What am I looking for? What number?
The difficulty of this is going to be 3 again.
Okay. Do I gain anything from the modification I just made?
Yes. Let me lower it to 2.
Awesome.
The complication range still 17 though.
Yes, of course. I'm going to spend that momentum that I just exchanged for my health, and
Okay.
I'm going to buy another die.
Set up for this roll.
Oh yeah.
It's a pretty important roll.
I know. I want to make it. Let's roll my big dice.
Watch 3 17s. Here we go.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past me. Here we go. I'm rolling the big dice for the big roll. That 16 loves to tease me. That's nothing though. That one is nothing for this one. And then I got a 2 and a 10. A 10, yes. No, yes.
Okay.
A 10 is what I need, and then I got a 2. I don't think none of my focuses come into play. So I got 2 successes exactly.
Captain, you're aware that Tavine has successfully started moving out onto that ledge and is making their way over to the airlock. It looks like they're going to be just fine. They've got a good footing. You can tell that they are moving faster than you would have thought.
I will communicate that with to our friends, just letting them know. My colleague is on the way, and I'll tell them how far that Tavine has gotten.
Okay. You're going to reach the airlock. As soon as you get to the airlock, up above you in the Borg sphere, you are all just sitting quietly. It's absolute silence. With the power being reduced to the levels that it's at right now, there's barely a hum of energy coursing through. All of the alcoves have been deactivated. The ambient greenish, sickly glow of the Borg sphere has dimmed significantly. This place is bleak and dark, like the inside of a technological skeleton. It just feels empty in here. Arya breaks the silence with just, anybody know a game?
I suppose I know a few.
Okay. Play. Say that we could do 20 questions, but I can tell what all of you were thinking, so it's not going to work too well.
One of the sphere's monitors throws a pixelated global thermonuclear war.
Wait, is Cadence trying to play Fallout right now? What's happening?
Shall we play a game?
Oh, you're literally referencing war games. My God, you are dropping the cultural references tonight, Sam. I am so proud of you. You've been lying to me for so long.
I am a tran of culture. Pinkies out.
You are. Yeah, Zarya looks at that and is absolutely bewildered.
What is what game exactly is this, like a quote unquote parody of?
It is technically tic-tac-toe.
Thought so, okay.
Or at least a version of it. That's on the other side of it. But if you want to play the actual thermonuclear war game that is charitably described, I would describe as Atari level graphics that are up on the screen. Yeah.
Precisely.
Basically 2 bits.
Shaven haircut.
Not the game I was going to suggest. I was going to suggest I Spy, but you already know what we'll be thinking, so.
Not only that, but I
This
can
would be
literally
better.
see through your eyes if I decide to network with you.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Not that I would do that without asking, or I might if I was being obnoxious.
Books. I suppose books don't need games, so. how do you play this? And I'll look at
Yeah.
this game that's up on the monitor.
Probably
Okay.
reasonably interesting to a tactician.
Yeah.
And while y'all are role playing this, I'm letting you know now that I am currently pulling up the Borg stats to roll for their challenge.
Huh?
They are
Cool.
going to have
That's
to
great.
beat, they're going to have to beat a difficulty 7 check
Yes.
to spot you guys. So this is a very difficult roll for the Borg. Not out of the realm of possibility, though. So let me pull up this
Rubber
stats.
ducky. You're the one.
So I have threat to spend
Silent
for this
running,
roll.
so much fun.
Okay.
Well played, sibling.
Borg technical drome. Every time I read that, I just think technodrome. All right, let's see. Is that a cultural reference you get, Sam, out of curiosity?
Nah.
Ah, nuts. You would shoot down one of my favorites. All right, so this is going to be 2d20.
No, I'm not shooting anything down right now. I'm on silent running.
We're hiding.
Reason. Ooh, okay. Reason and science.
Culture.
Right. Focus. I'm going to buy dice. I've got a bunch of threat. Let's see. How much is that going to cost me?
I spent so much.
Yeah,
of it
use
being
all
me.
your threat.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy that. I'm basically gonna play it the way y'all play it. I'm gonna buy the crap out of some dice.
Can we increase
Um,
your complication range?
You cannot, unfortunately.
Damn it. We got,
Yeah.
we got momentum to burn.
Well, why
Yeah.
you gotta go and make things so...
God damn it! Now I've got Avril Lavigne stuck in my mind.
Acting like you're somebody else.
This is how Sam's getting revenge for not being able to raise complicated range. Okay, so increase severity. Okay, alter trait.
Raise the complication range in real life.
Getting revenge on my behalf of my request, which is
One,
that's sibling. That's
two,
sibling.
three, four.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna burn 6 threat,
Ooh.
Oh.
and I'm buying
Really nice.
up to 5d20
Oh.
for this roll.
All right, so I count 11 so far, but I think I'm missing some. Oh, 12.
All right, 5d20, and I'm making a roll. I have to hit a difficulty of 7. Rolling.
Oh.
Yes.
I rolled a 2, which triggers a critical. 12. And a 16, 15, and an 18. I only got 5 successes.
Oh.
On 5d20.
Let's go,
It can be a paragriffin. It can be a freaking bouncy ball. Best goddamn pilot in Starfleet. Let's go. You think I actually need to be within the being of a Starfleet to be the best goddamn pilot in Starfleet? No. I can be not Starfleet. I can be bored.
I
I
think you are the
burned-
best goddamn pilot in like the multiverse at this point. Is like what we're.
We are the best goddamn pilot.
Yeah.
Since we are Borg.
We are Borg.
We are Cadence. Okay. Passive sensors detect a sweep. It is similar to what ancient mariners of Earth might have experienced if they were in silent running and could hear a destroyer over their heads pinging away, looking for you. The sensor sweep breaches the surface of this caustic ocean and drifts right over. Cadence, there's a moment where you realize that it's entirely possible they'll detect the tractor beam, considering it's just a field of energy. However, as the beam passes over and they don't double back, it occurs to you that that magnesite might be playing a role in this, and the sweep continues on. Judging from passive sensors, it would seem that they are simply doing a sweep of the ocean. Thorough and quick. It's possible, it's entirely possible they won't be coming back thinking that this place is... but anything goes with the Borg. You don't know. If they have reason to come back, they will. But their scan, they do not detect you guys as you sit quietly in the water column.
Right, that seems rational. If they have reason, they'll
Didn't-
come back. We're Borg, so we would understand what
What
the
would draw them
SOP
back?
would be
Um,
for doubling
okay.
back. Under
I
what
will-
circumstances are those?
I will give you that since you technically have the Borg trait right now, the X-Borg trait. The likelihood of them suddenly doubling back is if maybe a 22-kilometer long crab creature started moving and that caught their attention. They might come back. If there's more seismic activity, it's very unlikely that they would come back. But if they were able to detect this creature, which, for the record, they were not prohibited the way you were. They were neural linked into their sensors, so they're able to spot it if it starts to move. It occurs to you because of this that it is very likely that the away team's next scene could actually influence whether or not the Borg circle back.
Maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe this is just me being really Sam.
But you're going to get on the phone, aren't you?
No.
Uh-oh, what are you gonna do?
It's not. So I was thinking about this a little bit earlier because the first thing we recognized about the crab was it's kind of moving its little crab muscle or something. And I'm all nestled up on the crab, and is it possible to use maneuvering thrusters, a thing available in silent running?
Yes, it is.
To kind of be a massage ball to the world crab and thereby ease muscle tension,
Soothe
prevent further movement.
We're gonna soothe the world crab.
Please. I know it's silly. I know it's a very Sam sort of. I know what I am, but also can I maybe? I want to bring something to this world crab, and I'm a sphere.
Cadence, you're trying to anticipate what Dr.
crabs
Conway would say to you right now.
Like
if
to
she
be
were
pet.
here. What's that?
I'm Googling, do crabs like to be pet?
They do, actually. There is a wonderful Instagram account of a woman who has gone through a couple of pet crabs because they don't have a very long life cycle, unfortunately. But she has shown the world that crabs actually do respond and can become familiar. And it's quite adorable, especially when they become totally comfortable with you putting little hats on them. Anyway,
let's Sam soothe the world crab.
So I just want to, yeah. Okay. So, one sec. I just want to put this into perspective because this is going to help you understand what it is that you're up to. You were talking about maneuvering a Borg sphere, which, by the way, is roughly 5.5 million metric tons.
Yes, it is.
And using it as a medicine ball on the back of a crab that is 22 kilometers long in an attempt to soothe it. You know nothing about this crab's behavior, its physiology. It might be sentient for all you know. There's a lot of variables here. You don't know. But conceivably, it works in physical therapy. For many species, maybe it's worth a try. The thing that also keep in mind, Cadence, is that two things. If you choose to do this, you will be breaching the sphere that was created by Evasion. You have all deliberately remained outside that sphere so that you didn't disrupt the environment. That circumstance may have changed now that you know the environment is harming the crab. Indeed, it's entirely possible that by eliminating that sphere, you will essentially, that could cause the soothing. However, it will speed up the timeline into which you have to get people out of that facility because it'll start becoming exposed to an ocean of acid. There's that, and there's also the tractor beam. So, that's just you finessing it. That's just you making sure that the tractor beam stays active and rolling around, possibly doing massive structural integrity damage to the ship. Doesn't affect the tractor beam.
That's goddamn pilot. Anyway,
so those are the two things to keep in mind.
Okay, so in making an assessment of whether this is a better course of action, time seems like the key factor, because if the Borg recognize us, we're going to need to evac pronto. By the same token, you're telling me that if something goes wrong here with the field, we're going to need to evac pronto. which one creates more time pressure? Because that should be the path that I go with. Because I intuit if the Borg see us, we're in sooner trouble. And so therefore trying to go for Operation Crab Cuddle is the play.
Yeah.
Yes, Captain? Yes, Captain. Captain, do you have something to say? Do you have input, Captain?
I'm agreeing fully.
I mean,
so
we
into
might
this.
as well make it a trait. Yeah. make Operation Crab Cuddle the trait.
This is why
'Cause
you're
if
the
the Borg-
Captain. Incredibly astute. I love it.
The Borg
I tell you what,
don't
if-
ever see us. Like that
if
time
you-
crunch becomes less scary.
If you spend a point of momentum, I will give you this as an information spend
Okay.
instead of making you roll for it. So it's an excellent question, Cadence. Like, what speeds up the clock the most? There's so many variables here. You don't know the exact position of the Borg scout ship. So it might be that they could be on the other side of the planet right now, which means they've lost line of sight, and you would have plenty of time if you did this. If they haven't lost line of sight, they could be here in a matter of moments. So you're not entirely sure. But what you do know is if this goes wrong and the crab begins to move and you have to get everyone out on pronto, you're going to have to find a way to beam 700 plus life forms aboard the Borg sphere. And you're going to have to find, you're going to have to find a way to do that. The things that are going to be running against you is the collapsing structure of the station, because the failing hydropower. Essentially, in order to get people out, you're going to have to race against the failing power systems, race against the crab moving, race against the station falling apart. If that is the thing to do, it is only marginally better than the Borg spotting you. It's so close. It's really going to come down to rolls.
Okay. So just be really good at my job.
Just be
Is what
really
I'm hearing.
buy dice, be really, really good.
Be really good at my
Create
job.
traits, do what you got to do, and this wacky ass plan that Cadence is considering, it could conceivably. We've seen weirder things in Lower Decks. Damn it! Like, it's conceivable that you have some kind of an effect that could work in your favor.
Wait. Yeah. Okay. Then I think. So, to be clear, what my information spend gets me is
Risks.
the risks are marginally in favor of Operation Crab Cuddle.
Yeah, marginal.
Excellent. That was all I needed. All right, let's.
It's all going to come down to dice rolls.
Settings and to be good at our job.
Okay. With that, Cadence, are you telling? Is your crew here about to learn what you're about to do, or are they just learning it?
You've told me that my commsing my captain is going to compromise things.
Of course, yes.
And the entire goal here is to try to prevent being detected, and you've told me this thing is detection. So, do I want to comms my captain and my fellow player? Yes. If that undermines the exact literal thing I'm setting out to do,
mostly I was asking if you were telling the people that are in the room with you right now.
Oh, yeah. No.
Okay.
I think
Awesome.
it's things are coming up on the monitor such that if my fellow player character wants to deduce something and have a response, that is
Okay.
narratively available to you. But Cadence is doing things.
Okay. Cool. I think
It does say
Bizarre-
Operation Crab Cuddle at the top of the little like
Oh, okay.
procedure thing. That's
Okay.
the maneuvers they're about to execute come up on that monitor where global thermonuclear war was.
Okay. Yeah.
So our game is interrupted by this
By a maneuver,
readings.
maneuvering thrusters activate. Now, it is worth noting that even though you cannot travel at impulse, maneuvering thrusters still causes you to move meters a second. So it is not a slow descent.
Doesn't have to
But-
be.
yeah.
Can be. Doesn't have to.
You and Zarya both feel the Borg sphere begin to maneuver as you descend. As you descend, you all begin to hear the structure of the ship slowly begin to sound out as the pressure begins to build up on the outside of the vessel. Since you don't have shields right now, you can hear the as y'all are getting lower and lower into the water column. You're just a few moments away from breaching the barrier.
Okay.
I'm opening this up because to Aeon, you look like you want to say something.
I think Taeon looks at the readings on the screen, this Operation Crab Cuddle, and there's a moment of them trying to understand what's going on, what the plan is, and then I think it eventually clicks, and they look to Zarya and just go, "It's just gonna keep getting weirder, I think."
Zarya looks back at you and just says, "Wait, Commander, what are we doing? You're about to breach the environmental barrier. Why are we going deeper?"
On the monitor, the steps of the plan tick down to the next phase.
Okay. They look at the
As
screen and
explained.
says, "Commander, we won't have any shields. This okay. Okay. What's the protocol here?" And she turns and looks directly at you, to Aeon.
In all honesty, I'm not entirely sure. I think we're just going to improvise. By the
Okay.
book rarely works in practice, and I think this is a great example of how that's the case.
I have one other thing I think I would like to try to do.
What would you like to try to do?
With one surface facing thruster, because it's a sphere. One of the things that we've been talking about is that I am effectively omnidirectionally maneuverable, which
Mhm.
means I will have like a surface facing. So
Sure.
with just the slightest little toot of power, just the absolute least amount,
Okay.
I can create, for instance, a quick steam pocket. If I wanted to send maneuvering Morse, because my comms, classical comms to my team, risk being picked up from above the surface. But if I want to try to communicate to the away team in ways that the Borg sphere can't pick up on,
Unfortunately, you have done such a good job at masking your presence. The team would have to be actively looking at the sphere or scanning the sphere to be able to detect anything you're sending out, unless you use actual sound.
I can.
Yes.
Because sound is a longitudinal wave communicated through a medium.
You can use pings.
The crab is a medium. So if I add rhythmicity to my maneuvering, then I can potentially communicate through the floor, where the floor is crab, not lava. Crab.
I mean, yeah, you could send out you could essentially make a sonar pulse.
Yeah.
It's easy enough to emit to
Yeah.
triangulate your internal systems to send out a small ping or a sound in the water. No problem.
Yeah. So I want to just like absolutely briefest least anything of that. Just use.
Okay.
You know what? We're going wet Navy style is what we're doing. We are going wet Navy style here in the Borg sphere rubber duck as we cuddle a crab and attempt to communicate with our captain, who is a Borg in, and this is true, a bow tie.
Okay. It seems
That's
like
rude.
every session of this particular adventure has just been one step to building up tension after the next, because now we are there. So here's what goes down. You breach that outer layer easily. And the only indication that the breach happens is the sudden change in water temperature and salinity levels and acidity. Just all changes at once. You also detect that the breach causes the upper layer of water to begin to intermix with the layer itself. Passive sensors are telling you you've probably got about 45 minutes before this entire bubble is saturated once again and essentially acid ocean. that's going to be very dangerous. But conceivably, this was expected. This is what you were waiting. You expected this. So now you've got a working model of what you're up against. You send out a sonar ping, and a series of them, sort of morrising to let everybody know. Deep down below, 10 kilometers underneath these pings as they are sent out across the ocean here. Everyone on the station, in the darkness of this lab that has been makeshift into a colony, hears reverberating through the walls this rhythmic pinging sound. It takes Jaren and Tavine only a few moments to realize the patterns, to be able to detect exactly. You don't have to worry if your characters figure out that it's Cadence speaking to you or not. And it's not a leap of logic to say that the reason why Cadence is using high pulse sensor ping or sonar pings like this is because they are trying to not be noticed, which gives you both a snapshot of what might be happening a few kilometers above your heads right now. As that ping is happening, I just want Cadence to tell me real quick, what does the ping say? What are you saying in this Morse code that you're sending out?
Maneuvering to soothe crab may destabilize habitat. Will reduce risk of detection. This is obviously like, they do those super short things in
Okay.
Borse.
Could I suggest a trait from this
It
from
depends.
this action? Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
So you said that the bubble is probably disturbing the crab. As this is like slowly intermixing the natural habitat back into this area,
Mhm.
could I suggest a spending to get something like creature comfort as something? So like it's like we're doing something to like soothe the crab further, like as we make rolls or do things to start comforting our creature.
You
Like,
could, but I would agree with that trait, except for as it is set right now, it'll take 45 minutes before that creature comfort is felt.
I was hoping that it was maybe a little bit at a time, but that makes sense.
Yeah, unfortunately, seawater's
Okay.
pretty heavy, but the intermix is, you guys are 16 kilometers
I
below the
guess that's
surface.
pretty far. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to take a hot minute. But yeah, I would say
Probably
you could do that, but where will you be?
eventually.
That's, yeah. But I will say this. As you are just getting to the airlock and beginning to open it up, it starts to slide open and you can see the interiors of this airlock. It's a docking bay for submersibles. So it's a little bit different from the bay that you left. This one's a little more spacious, and it looks like it has materials on the inside as well as easy places to grab a hold of, much more in a better condition. The pinging sound, Jaren, you hear it too, of course. It just rings throughout the ocean. Thankfully, the Borg are not listening to sonar pings. They're probably in no way going to detect any of this. But anything within like 100 kilometers of this space, or much further, as sound is traveling underwater, is hearing this. When the ping goes out, passive sensors send back. Think of it like sonar. Like the sound waves that are bouncing back are delivering data back to the Borg sphere on passive sensors. So as this happens, two things take place. The first one is, as soon as that ping finally begins to fade from the water column, as it sounds out, you realize, Tavine, that there's still a sound emanating. And it's at a lower frequency than the ping. It's not the sonar. Something else is making noise now. You hear this deep, almost imperceptibly deep rumble. And
Does it feel like it's coming from below me?
You can feel vibrations in your knees. So yes, it's definitely emitting from below. That's the first thing that happens. The second thing that happens is the sensor information that comes back to the sphere shows there's more than one crab down here. Sensor information pings back multiple valleys, peaks, and runs that indicate at least the presence of 8 or more of these
Crab
creatures.
world crab.
What you're mapping with this sonar ping that comes back is the entire bottom of this ocean appears to be a congregation of these island-sized crabs that have gathered specifically around this one area. The way they have formed up together would suggest that they have piled upon one another and are sitting still, sleeping, like almost like bears that have gone into hibernation. They've all kind of gathered around one another and formed this. The sensors, the sheer size of this makes what you see look like a mountain range that stretches on for 50 to 60 kilometers. Some of them being piled on top of each other are much larger than the floor to the peak of Everest. The crabs seem to be congregating around a specific area, and the sound that reverberates back is from all of them, and it's so low frequency, so baritoned, that it's almost as though the ocean seems to come to life. You can feel in everyone, it's beyond just a sound pulse. Everyone is suddenly aware. And for some reason, for some inexplicable reason, maybe it's your Borg sensors and your heightened perception of other beings, whatever it is, each of you becomes aware somehow that they know you are here. As this sound wave emanates back at all of you, each of you feels like you've just been seen. That is where we are stopping tonight's game.
Crab rave.
We got crabs.
Crab rave. We got the crab rave.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and warn players now, when we come back, not next week, but the week after, in October, it is going to be the last session for this particular mission. And it's going to just start at a run because the clock has now been set in motion. Cadence is moving very quickly, and you guys are going to have to get things rolling because you've got crabs, you've got Borg, you've got the collapsing station, 18 tons, you name it. You've got crabs, all of you.
You got crabs.
This is what you get. This is what you
Gotta
get.
end it how we started.
Just because you're Borg does not mean you need to give up hygiene, and y'all are learning that the hard way. Okay.
Tested regularly.
Don't be crabby.
Sorry. All right. That's going to do it. This week is Last Excelsior. Next week, we're going to be going to the Noirville universe, so tune in then. Just to let everybody know, we got a big StreamPunks announcement coming down the pipe pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. I'd say look for some announcements coming down on the socials, specifically through Coffee and Patreon, so stay tuned for that. But until that moment comes, I would just like to say thank you so much, as always, to everyone for joining us tonight for Last Excelsior. Thank you for being patient with us as we got things spun up. And lastly, most importantly, happy goddamn motherfucking birthday, Jake.
Happy birthday, Jake.
Happy birthday, Josh.
You absolute piece of human trash. How dare you? And we love you. And all
Happy
that.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Jake. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, Ox Crew. We'll see you next time. Until then, hailing frequencies are closed.